Hey everyone, Josh Davis here for a little Lightroom tutorial. I got a message on YouTube from a particular subscriber asking me if I could do a video on importing RAW files into Lightroom 2. Now there isn't really that much difference between importing RAW files and importing regular JPEG files, so I'll just kind of tailor this tutorial to importing photos into Lightroom. First, let's start by going up to Lightroom. If you're on a Mac, going up to the Lightroom menu and going to Preferences. If you're on a PC, I believe it's going up to Edit and then choosing the Preferences menu. And then within the Preferences menu here, you'll see there's different tabs at the top. You want to choose the Import tab, and let's just take a look at some of these preferences before we import photos. The first is a pretty straightforward checkbox. It says Show Import Dialog when a memory card is detected. I have this checked, and you'll see that in action in a second when I actually attach my memory card. The second one, ignore camera-generated folder names when naming folders. Now this all depends on the settings within your camera and how you are naming your files. Personally, I have my camera numbering my images and files already, so I'm going to not check that box because I want to preserve the numbering and naming system currently being used inside my camera. The next one, treat JPEG files next to RAW files as separate photos. So if your camera has a setting where you can shoot RAW and JPEG together and you go to import them, the import is only going to import one of those photos. If you have this box checked, it will import both of them separately. So it all depends on what you want to do. Do you want to import both of those files or just one? So I leave that unchecked because I don't shoot both. I shoot entirely in RAW. Now, import DNG creation. This is settings for the DNG format, and what DNG stands for, I believe, is digital negative. It's Adobe's proprietary camera RAW format. Now, the reason that they came up with their own RAW format is because sometime in the future, your particular camera manufacturer, be it Nikon, Canon, Pentax, or whatever, they might stop supporting their RAW format. And if they do that, Adobe could very well stop supporting that RAW format in Lightroom. So what they did was they came up with this DNG format that they're always going to use. It's sort of like an archival RAW format. Personally, I use it. I convert all my files to DNG format on the import, which I'll show you how to do. It's pretty easy. Some people don't, others do. There's a ton on the internet about DNG. I suggest reading up on it if you're interested. I do use it, and these options, this file extension simply is, do you want to have a lowercase DNG or capital DNG at the end of the file name? The initial preview size, I just choose medium. The image conversion method, if you choose preserve raw image, it will preserve the raw image data from your original RAW file in the DNG format. If you choose linear, it'll just produce a let's just see here how to say this. It's more of a like a RAW file that doesn't have any of the embedded RAW information from your camera, from your proprietary RAW format. I always choose preserve the raw image because you can always convert to linear later if you need to, but you can't always go back. Options, I always keep the compressed lossless checked because it makes the files smaller without losing any quality, and I don't check this embed original RAW file. You can if you want to, and what it will do is it will embed that original proprietary RAW format within your DNG file, so you can always get it back later if you're interested. The only catch is that it will basically double your file size. So I leave that unchecked because RAW files and DNG files are usually around 10, 11 megs initially, and I don't want to be dealing with 20 megabyte files for each picture. So those are the import preferences. So let me just attach my memory card here, and let's see, the import dialog should appear. Here it is. So this is the import dialog. File handling, this pull down, copy photos as digital negative and add to a new location, or copy photos to a new location and add to catalog. So what I do is I copy photos as DNG and add to catalog, so on the import it's automatically converting to digital negative. If you don't want to use DNG, use the first one. Copy to, pretty straightforward. Select the file location where you want them to go. I'm going to choose my photos folder. Choose that. put in subfolder. When you have this checked, it will create a folder within this location and put your photos in it. So let's just call it import demo. We don't want to re-import any suspected duplicates, and we want to eject the card when we're done importing. This backup to, if you have this checked, you can specify an external hard drive or another location, and it will import all your pictures to that location as well. This is a good idea if you have a dedicated external hard drive and you want to back up your photos immediately on import. I currently don't do that. I have other backup solutions. The template for file naming. I just choose file name to use the file name right out of the camera. You can see it right here. There are of course other options. You can choose file name and it will add an additional number sequence at the end, the date, or you can even specify a custom name with text, a custom name, and then it will add a sequence to it. If you put in custom text, you will see your custom name appear up here with the sequence. You can specify the start sequence. I just leave it as the file name. Information to apply develop settings. You can apply any presets you have immediately on import to the photos. I don't do that, I just click none, but the option is there if you want it. Metadata. You can create new metadata presets for any kind of metadata that you want to add to your photos. Any kind of copyright information, captions, and you can click create and you can save your preset as a custom preset, and then that preset will be under here in the metadata. Right here I have a Josh's metadata preset with my own metadata that I like to add. Any kind of keywords you want to add to the files for better searching features if you're into the whole keyword thing. And then your initial previews. 1:1, it will automatically generate the 1:1 zoomed in previews of your photos. Leaving it as standard, we'll just do the standard previews. And then you can choose the embedded previews and the sidecar information from your file, or just the minimal previews. I tend to do 1:1 because after an import I'm usually developing and working with the photos, so I like to have that generated full 1:1 preview automatically. That way when I'm working with the files, I don't have to wait for the preview to develop. When I zoom in on a photo, it'll automatically be generated. Now granted, this takes a little bit longer on the import, but I usually just set it, kind of walk away until it's done. Over here in the preview column, we have a preview of all the files on my memory card. We can uncheck all of them and then check only specific ones that we want to import, which I will do just here in the essence of time. I'll just select a few of them, and that's pretty much it. And we'll just go to import. And we can see right here, it's created a file up here called import demo, and we can see the convert to digital negative and import, and here it comes. Now if you don't convert to digital negative and use RAW, that is totally fine. It's going to be exactly the same. Also, if you've already moved your photos from your memory card to another folder on your computer, you don't have to import via your memory card. What you can do is just go down to import, and you can actually find the photos on your computer if they're already on your machine, and then import them that way. And when you do that, the same import dialog will come up again, allowing you to choose a location that you want to move them to, or just copy them from the same location. It's all pretty straightforward. You can see right now it's generating those 1:1 previews that I was talking about, and it takes a little bit longer to do that. And it's pretty much done here. Last photo. Man, time flies on these YouTube videos, don't they? 10 minutes is almost up. And that's pretty much it. Here they are. Here are my raw photos. I can go right into the develop module and start working on them, just like they were JPEGs. Only I get the benefits of dealing with a raw image. When I edit the exposure, I just have a lot more freedom and a lot more range. Same thing with the white balance. I have all these presets from my camera that I can choose from, and it's just a lot more better working with raw files. You have a lot more freedom. So I'm out of time. That's it. Hopefully this helps. Import dialog and working with raw files. Check out my website, bustedshutter.com. Subscribe, all that good stuff. And thanks for stopping by. Hope this helps. Later.